And that brings us to our game of the week. We're heading out to Dallas, Texas in Gerald J. Ford Stadium, where the number 18 undefeated Pitt Panthers come into town to take on the number 20 SMU Mustangs on ACC Network. And SMU favored in this one by a whopping 7.5 points at home Saturday night. And shame on these TV networks, by the way. I know ACC Network is probably available for all of us TV viewers, but how is this not an ESPN or ABC matchup? I will never understand that, but that's neither here nor there. Brad, I'll turn it over to you. Pitt is riding hot. SMU heating up as well in their own right. And this has big implications for the ACC later on down the road in just about a month and a half. Thoughts on this game and who comes out on top in Dallas, Texas?
Man, Nate, you stole my first point. Nothing against the man, nothing against the ACC network, but man, I'm with you. It's a shame that we couldn't get this one on ESPN. I just looked. It's Louisville Clemson, which not a bad matchup, but this is this is a huge matchup. We're talking as we just mentioned. This is a ACC championship eliminator, potentially a college football playoff game eliminator. So huge game. Want to talk about these two programs real quick. Hats off to Pat Narduzzi. They went 3-9. I believe it was 3-9 last year. He recognized that changes need to be made. I've mentioned this guy. Cade Bell comes from Western Carolina, has done an unbelievable job with that offense. And then Rhett Lashley, I'm not going to continue to say this, but one of my favorite head coaches in America. I will continue to say, and one of our episodes that we'll do in the off season here on Break the Huddle is talking about, new head coaches in new places. Guys, I think Rhett Lashley could be one of those candidates to move up to a bigger program. I think he's very happy at SMU, but if a big SEC job comes calling, I think his name could be floated. But these two teams have just done an unbelievable job getting back to SMU. I thought, guys, they struggled week one against Nevada. BYU, of course, upset them, and I thought, okay, SMU is struggling here, guys. They've rolled. I will say, I think they were lucky to escape Durham last week with a win over Duke in overtime. That was a great game, but this is going to be such a fun game for Pitt. The big storyline is Eli Holstein and his health. Of course, he's they're wait and see. It truly seems like it is going to be a game time decision how he looks in warm ups, and then SMU has really found something in Kevin Jennings. I've been impressed with him. That SMU offense, man, they're rolling. They're at home. I'm taking the Mustangs in this one. I think Pitt has got a really, really good team, but just because of Holstein's injury situation, even if he plays, I don't think he's going to be 100%. And his legs are so valuable to him. And for that reason, I'm going with the Mustangs. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think both teams score in the mid to high 30s, but SMU just finds a way to win it. So pony up.
Wow, Brad. Wow. Going with the home favorite in this matchup of the week. Rooster, I'll turn it over to you because I'm starting to lose my voice again. Thoughts on this game and who comes out on top in this primetime huge ACC matchup?
Well, something that's going under the radar this week is that this arguably is the most important game of the entire ACC season. Because if either of these two teams wins out, Clemson is out of the ACC championship. Because Clemson doesn't get to play Miami, and they don't get to play SMU. And it comes down to SMU will end up having a stronger strength of schedule in the ACC. And if Pitt beats Clemson, Clemson's out that way either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could be potentially looking at a scenario where SMU wins the ACC, and then Miami has one loss, and Clemson has one loss, and don't crucify me, but the ACC could get 3 teams into the playoff.
Wow.
I know that it's something that not many people are talking about, but Clemson, if Clemson doesn't make the ACC championship, but still has only one loss, that committee has a very, very tough decision. But we're not here to talk about Clemson. We're here to talk about Pitt Panthers and the SMU Mustangs.
Sure.
And the Pitt defense really impressed me last week because while Nate mentioned in that video beforehand, neither the Syracuse defense nor the Pitt defense had been really showing up much this season. But then out of nowhere, we get 5 interceptions. We get 3 pick sixes, 4 interceptions in the first half, and 3 interceptions in the first quarter. That's just unheard of. And then you have SMU on the other hand, that is just, I mean, they were firing on all cylinders until they got up to Durham, North Carolina. And it came down to a missed field goal. But you know at that one point, you know what that game shows me, Nate?
What does it show?
It shows me they were looking ahead. It shows me they've been preparing for the Pitt Panthers for 2 weeks.
Ooh.
And with that being said, I'm taking the SMU Mustangs in this one. Many people are doubting them, saying they've already lost to BYU. But that doesn't mean anything if they come out on top and end up winning the ACC championship.
Yeah, you guys summed it up really well. This is a huge game for both teams. Shame on whoever's in charge of scheduling these games. Glad it's an 8 p.m. kickoff. Don't know why this isn't involving Kirk Herbstreit calling the game, because we know that whatever game he's calling, he's going to be watching this game. I'm starting to lose my voice again. My nose is stuffy. I apologize. But no, I'll keep this short and sweet. Pitt had the game of a lifetime last week. Every now and then you're going to see a team just come out and obliterate their opponent in a way that we never see. And we saw that in the Alabama versus Georgia game in the first half. I mean, no one expected that. And to the point of last week, I chose Syracuse. They broke my heart. I wanted to go Pitt this week. You know, it's like you see something shinier, something prettier. It's got a nicer engine in the car, whatever you want to look at, however you want to look at it. You know, maybe it's a little bit more expensive on the menu, but you get an extra side of fries, right? But in this case, I got to go with my gut, and I got to go with the SMU Mustangs as well. I think they win big at home. I think they cover the spread. And to your point, Rooster, I think SMU was preparing for this game. And Pitt is coming off of a really, really big game. It's hard to carry over to the next week, especially on the road after such a big win like that, right? We talk about momentum. We talk about being able to sustain success. That's a tongue twister. Wow. But I think in the end, I think SMU comes out on top, and I think they do cover the spread. Brad, to your point, that injury with Eli Holstein, that plays a big factor into it as well. He's been outstanding for Pitt, and if he's able to go, they've got a shot. You know, I don't want to count them completely out. If he's in, they've got a shot. But if he's not 100%, it's going to play a huge role heading into Saturday night. But for the time being, I'm gonna take the SMU Mustangs to cover the spread. Let us know down in the comments who you think is going to come out on top in Dallas, Texas. That's a wrap for today. When we come back next week, we'll give you a breakdown of our previews and predictions for Week 11. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to comment down below and share with your college football friends. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the hug.